Hello everybody and welcome again to the Steger Shaman Assassin. We are rejoining the ranks in Windhelm to take on the Civil War quest line on the side of the Stormcloaks. There are also some things that I'm trying to do today just to get the character built up the way that he should, including some training. Training is really expensive. We need like 4,500 septims to continue training with block, and I think I have one more level of training left to go at this level. So trying to make some money in the meantime, and also trying to hunt down some saber cats if I find myself in the tundra with some extra time. So yeah, you might see me tracking down some saber cats. I need to get a strange cat claw for the Hunterborn hidden quest line, which I want to do. Excuse me, a lot of muke in the lungs today. I had some really heavy deep dish Chicago style pizza last night, and I had way too much of it. So a little phlegmy, you know. Oh, I forgot to promote, or did I promote? No, I don't think I promoted on Discord, did I? Did I? No, I did. I just didn't. I wasn't sure if I hit the. Wasn't sure if I hit the enter button to send everything. Yeah, the strange cat claw for our Hunterborn, because I want to do the. I want to do a video on the hidden quest line on that. Yeah, let's see. Why is he holding his shield? He should have it on his back. In any case, whatever. All right, let's get going. I think we have to join the ranks in Whiterun right now for the Battle of Whiterun. We're taking the city over, so let's get that started, shall we? Oh, yeah, there it is. I don't know, maybe it's just because I had it in free cam. Script hadn't kicked in, but whatever. We're good now. Yeah, no, I did. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll, if I get an early start, I'll pre-type out the promotion and everybody's different Discord channels, and I just won't hit the enter button until it's time to go live. And sometimes I'll forget to hit that enter button, and I'll just be going live without any kind of promotion at all, which is not a good idea. But I think for right now, it's just you and me in the chat, so it looks like people are a little bit slow dropping in here. I need an any key. Yes, I do. Hey, there's Gavin Gaines. Hey, buddy. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Getting a good start to the weekend. I know I did. It was National Pizza Day yesterday, so the wife and I ordered a big ass freaking pizza, and we were very indulgent. We ate the shit out of that pizza, and it was excellent. But today, probably have to go a little lighter. Maybe get some greens. Some greens and some exercise. Okay. So we're gonna hop on Philia, our trusty steed, and we are going to sprint to Whiterun. We're gonna be joining the cloaks here in this makeshift, I don't know what they call that, a bivouac. It's a weird name for like a stood up camp for military. So we're gonna head to that. Hopefully there are minimum interruptions on the way, but I know for a fact that there's a dragon we may have to fight, and I don't think I took down the, well, maybe I did. I don't see him flying around there now. Over at Bonestrewn Crest. Usually I can see him flying around in the distance. Maybe I'm not close enough. Solid start, attempting to do a curry tonight. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, all right. Not a big fan of the curry myself, but a lot of people really like it. Something about just the taste of that spice that gets me. I'm also not like a spicy person. Okay, so I'm like this big dude with this awesome manly beard, but my palate is very sensitive. Very sensitive to spice. Alright, who the hell is trying to kill me? Okay. Just the wolf. And there's an ice wraith over here too. You need help with the ice wraith? Good thing I didn't take a swipe. I would have hit the poor apothecary on the way. But no, a good curry can be complicated to make, so I wish you luck on that. Hope it comes out well. Yeah, a little bit of spice will get me sweating and crying, like immediately. I'm a wuss. Much rather be punched in the face than have to eat something spicy. It's far less painful for me. Hey, Caladran. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? You getting some good sleep? Oh. God, get off the horse, man. We got a red guard with a spear, huh? My spirits don't want to fight you. You don't want to fight them. We're trying to figure things out here, I guess. Oh, you're quick.
This is the end for you.
All right.
I swear.
Okay, so because of how the... Ooh, that's a cool looking spear, huh? Not valuable enough to pick up, but... The crippler. The orcish tickler spear. No. I won't go there. Is this Philia or is this her horse? Yeah, that's the Red Guard's horse, I think. Now, where did my coward ass horse go? Doing better, lost and enshrouded, nice. Wow, Philia really retreated, didn't she? Oh, well, let's see here. Yelling insults from the other side of the road is almost effective. Almost as effective. Discovered you through the Triumvirate Druid vid. Thanks for the damn nice work. Oh yeah, thank you. The Triumvirate stuff goes over really well on the channel, that's for sure. I need to get off my butt and make some of the other ones. The problem is the build pipeline, the build guide pipeline I have in the works right now. I need to go back to basics, so the just regular old warrior, thief, and mage, because I want to have like a base to build off of for the more hybrid, unique builds. And most of the Triumvirate spells, the Triumvirate archetypes, they kind of are asking the player to play hybrid builds. So if I get bored of the basic stuff, I might go and do like a cleric or something at some point. But yeah, thank you for watching the video and liking it. I do put a lot of damn work into these things. So I do appreciate the viewership. Was that my horse down there next to the river? Yes. And we got macadamia. The macadamic academic. The macadamic academic? Because he's a smart guy. Trying to find a Don King rhyming nickname for you. Is there anything in here that I can get rid of? I need to keep my encumbrance low, because I need to stay light on my feet. Yeah, lots of obstacles on the road here between Windhelm and Whiterun, which is awful because we're getting ready to mount an attack on one of the biggest cities in Skyrim, and they are gonna really need my help and the backup of all my spirit minions here. But oh yeah, there's a bear. I think I can outrun him. He's up on a ledge. I don't know. Bears are really quick, but I am running convenient horses, which means I should be able to outrun him. Still technically in combat, though. So he is still engaged. Hey, Panicked Monk. Welcome, welcome. Oop. Joe is doing well today. Getting a good start to his weekend. Up in sunny Minnesota. Let's see. Freighter Mirror. Welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, I already said hey to you. I just forgot your name. New name. Let's see. Yeah, I think I said hi to everybody. So yeah, I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I'm really hoping to make a dent in this Shaman Assassin build here, but today is mostly going to be story other than character building, although I hope to do a little bit of both. So we're switching to frontline warfare mode here. We're going to be worshipping the totem of the bear more so than the snake. Now there will be some infiltration jobs that Galmar and whoever else is the commanding officer at the moment will be sending us on, and in that case we'll be switching back to the snake for the more sneaky Steger stuff. But for this battle, at least, we're gonna be cooking on the front lines with our shield and with our dagger. And you're gonna be seeing a lot of slicing and dicing, because the way that the dagger perks work is that the more volume you have, the more damage you're gonna do. So usually, if you can get, I think the perk says 3 attacks within a certain amount of seconds. That you'll start doing like 50% of your stamina or something like that as damage to the enemy's health. So you're going to be seeing a lot of, you know, a lot of Ginsu knifing. Who the hell is trying to kill me? Oh well, let's just get to the camp. Don't need passive-aggressive wolves slowing me down right now. Alright, we got a Flame Atronach fighting a Vigilant. Okay. He's got that under control. We're gonna hear a big boom here in any second. Yep, there it is. I'll stop and catch up on chat once we get to where we're going. It's friggin' Skyrim. Who isn't trying to kill you? Indeed. Okay. Let's park Philia a safe distance away. Grab that Mora Tapanella, because that is an expensive, valuable ass potion that I can create for money and alchemy experience. Okay. Yeah, they're counterattacking with their own catapults. Do a quick save here before I start. A lot of bugginess in these big pitched battles in Skyrim, just because the creation engine, at least at this stage, can't really handle it so well. All right, let's see who we got. Discovered you through the Triumvirate Druid vid. Thank you for watching. We are beyond that message. Let's see. Bunch of people saying hey. We got Freighter Mirror, we have Maldaroth, aka Macadamia, we have the Panicked Monk, aka Joe, we have Caladran, who's feeling better, got some sleep. I saw you posted your orc playthrough. Another video there. I know you've been sucked into and shrouded lately. A lot of people are really liking that. I never really got into the survival stuff. I don't even really run too many survival mods on Skyrim. I just like to get in there and kill stuff, you know. I'm an arcade rat at heart. Let's see here. But that one looks really good. Very promising. Let's hope they are in it for the long haul. The live service games are all about their support, right? The academic. I'm glad you like that one. I was just off the cuff there. Proud of that. Love to see your take on a cleric with Epic Restoration, SSE, and Vigilant Restored. Interesting. Those are two mods that I don't have on top of Triumvirate. But I will take a look at them. CH uses your stamina for the horse's stamina. I don't know, maybe. But your horse does level up separately from you. And you can put your level up points in your horse in either health, speed, or stamina. Or I think they call it endurance. So speed is obviously how fast your horse can go, and endurance is how long it can keep up. I don't know if it scales at all additionally with your own stamina. That might be the way it works in the vanilla game. But there definitely is a separate, at least a separate stamina pool for your horse. It might be affected by your own, but I'm not sure. Steer got engaged. Yeah, he's married to madness. Be an awesome indie band name. I'm well, but sadly, unusually warm temps have left us, as has the sun. Okay, so you're getting that snow. You're getting those winter temperatures now and some snow. Oh, yeah. Wasn't gonna last forever, I guess, huh? Cocktails got the best of me last night. Got a few sticky keys. Uh-oh. That could always be something else, too. Hey, thanks for the shout out, Magus. Yeah, like button helps the algorithm for sure. We're always trying to grow our party over here. Hey, Mage Merlin Zero, welcome, welcome. It's a new name I haven't seen. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi, and maybe hanging out for a little bit. Did you ask something? I was in the kitchen. I think I just asked if you were sleeping better, but I think he answered that one. I was just talking about Enshrouded and how it looks really good, but I'm not really into the whole survival archetype, the whole survival game thing. So maybe I'll wait for it to go on sale if it's still being supported by the time that usually happens, you know. Didn't get into the survival stuff either until I tried Valheim. Valheim's another big one. Silent Echo, good morning to you too. Also, Ashes of Creation looks dope. Ashes of Creation, is that a game or is that a mod? I'm guessing that's a game. Lots of cool stuff, cool looking stuff. Like, not like the mainstream, like, blockbuster stuff that we've seen, like, all throughout 2023, but now, like, smaller projects are getting the chance to shine in a new year. Personally, I'm super looking forward to Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm a sucker for the AAA hype on these games. And that's the next, like, big AAA from a big publisher coming out. And I'm a huge Capcom stan. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, I've never watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just started watching it. It's awesome. Like the anime? I'm hoping you're not talking about the live action movie, which like tanked. I'm sure that you know it's probably fun to watch it, but if you're like a big fan of it, it's probably terrible. Hope you're all right, Magus. You want to take those incision sites very seriously, especially in that area. Upcoming MMO. What was the Black Desert Online? They were making a big MMO game that almost looked, it was like the level of interactability was almost like a BGS game. Seemed like there was a lot of stuff you could do in the world. The action looked, it was like Crimson Desert or something like that. That looked really good. But again, MMOs or something I'm not really into. The last, well, I mean, you could probably consider Diablo 4 an MMO, but I play that as a single player game. And I still play that. The anime, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of it there for you. Don't get me started on that dumpster fire. Guild Wars was a good MMO. Yeah, that's a classic.
We are craftsmen. We are sons and daughters of shopkeepers.
Gonna go Mehrunes Razor since we're fighting living enemies this time around. And what else? We're gonna need... Oh yeah, let's do a quick pray here. Take on the aspect of the bear. The bear shores up our defense a lot, which is quite necessary on legendary difficulty.
Our hearts are bursting with anger. What we do here today, we do for our country, for all the true Nords.
Especially at high levels. We're playing at level 52, 51.
Walls are tall, but they are old and crumbling, like the Empire.
I'm not sure if the Battle for Whiterun scales as harshly as the rest of the game with your level. It usually seems pretty easy. I don't know that I've taken it on this late in the playthrough though. Jeez, that one came really close. Can we move now, Galmar? Please? My god, he's nothing if not loquacious. Alright. And I also want to, let's see, Phantom Armor is the one that I want to have active. I think we're good with everything else. Now, the Ritual Stone should, oh my god.
Just a scratch.
Ritual Stone should be constantly getting fed by dead soldiers here, and as we enter battle, repeatedly as we enter new areas, that should be popping back up. But if we do run out of spirits, I do have the Undying Ghost from the AE Creation Club content. Oh my god, my dog is screaming at me at the least opportune time right now.
A pox on the Empire.
Okay. Alright, now I'm gonna shut up and cook. Somebody got me with something. Oh yeah, collecting heads.
Over by that bridge.
Not affected by the... Okay, we need stamina, we need, may as well go ahead and throw some poison down. Do I have regeneration? I do, let's put that on there. I think I ran out of vegetable soup, so just need stamina, straight up stamina. And we need magicka to keep the phantom armor up. We need a Fusroda. Yeah. Go ahead. So I don't know, however, how many people actually read Sun Tzu's Art of War, but he's a big proponent for letting your enemies escape. Always have an escape route for your enemies, because a cornered enemy will fight many times harder. If there's an escape, they're going to go for the escape route when, you know, they're faced with life or death. And if they're fighting literally for their lives, then they're going to fight a lot harder than if they have an escape option. So, Following that, I'm not like preventing their escape. Back with the phantom armor. All right. All right, let's push forward. Actually, push forward this way. Or not. That's just barricaded.
The Emperor can kiss my ass.
The Emperor can kiss my ass.
Have it.
Hiding in the field of our own corruption. While you now walk among the stars. I, an Asman, let me show you the power of Stormcloak.
That slide is not knocking them over like it used to. Probably just script overload at this point. Oh, I'm out of stamina. Okay, goose the stamina. That's what the potions are for, right? Let's use them.
Regard.
Heimskir is devoted indeed. Collecting Imperial heads. Look at this. Okay, catch up on chat here. We get a little bit of a breather. Oh, maybe not.
Take my city without raising my own sword.
Someone there.
Did you hear something? Found you.
The Emperor can guide me on
Ooh, that shock cloak is kind of taking me out a little bit.
I surrender.
Irileth is a tough customer.
Surrender. Peace. Everyone stand down. That's an order. Stand down. Balgrove.
Balgrove. So
Your
dramatic.
family was noticeably absent from the wall.
Anything here I can sell off for a good profit? Oh, these Whiterun helmets are in the guard's armor. Light and valuable. I'll be selling those. Sure. This is one of ours. Oh no, this is a Whiterun guard. Okay.
Oh, why? Wouldn't a dagger... back have sufficed?
You think this is personal? The Empire has no place in Skyrim. Not anymore. And you have no place in Whiterun anymore.
A convenient position to hold now. But mark my words, old man. In the days to come, Ulfric will spread his rebellion thin. And what then? We need the Empire as much as it needs us.
Hey, there's Strudel. Welcome,
We
Strudel.
Nords are the Empire.
Hope you're
Our
doing
blood
well.
Built it. Our
Staying
blood
warm.
Sustains it. You of all people should know that.
If this
Fart in the
was
Emperor's
my
face.
Empire, I'd be able to worship whoever I damn
Keep your hands
well
to yourself.
pleased. You wish to see an empire without Talos?
What about my
Without
butt?
its soul? We should be fighting those witch elves, not bending knee to them. The Emperor's nothing more than a puppet of the Thaw.
The attack on Solitude with the Stormcloaks was fun as heck. I was using slow time with Whirlwind Sprint and Elemental Fury having a blast chopping up the Imperials like a blender. Nice.
Tell me, Vignar, was all
That tends to be a harder fight too. Whiterun kind of feels like easy mode compared to either Windhelm or Solitude, depending on which side you're on, right?
Both of you! There is a burning city out there that
I
needs
think the difficulty scales harder per level
Galmar, come.
on those
Let
final
us
attacks.
restore order.
This isn't over.
Ralof did
you
not kill
fool.
more for sure.
This isn't over. And you, a Stormcloak. I thought better
I
of
love
you.
how he keeps
You'll all
yelling
come to
stand
regret
down a
this
year
day.
after everyone else is done and going for the food. Yeah, the food.
Tell Ulfric of our victory here.
This does work up an appetite, doesn't it? Okay, so yeah, Ulfric was not here for this fight. Probably, as Irileth said earlier in the quest line, that he's already shown his personal strength. Now he wants to demonstrate the strength of his army. The heavy armor. Not as good on the weight to value ratio. Nor is the heavy helmet. Okay, so we have to head back to Windhelm now. I'm kind of the mind that I don't want to do that whole trek again on foot. There does tend to be a lot of back and forth in the Civil War questline, right? I mean, on the one hand, it kind of stretches out the quest line a little bit. I think one of the best ways to slow down like a quest line that feels too brief or too quick is to not fast travel. Take your time and allow yourself to get distracted between waypoints, but I really want to put a cap on this character and get a guide out. It's been a long time since I've released any like real content on the channel, at least in terms of like guides and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to getting some like real meaty content out. Speaking of that, the Cyberneticist build for Starfield is under full production. It has been for a while, but I've finally gotten that all written. I've gotten all of the voice recorded for it, and now I'm just in the process of recording video and splicing that on top of the voice. So that should be out in the next couple weeks, I hope, barring any like lapse in motivation or any kind of distraction going on. There's also a combat tips and tricks guide for Starfield that I want to put out. So there is more Starfield content in the pipeline right now, but once I get to the end of that, I'll be focused on Skyrim for a little bit too, and then some of the other stuff I mentioned in my channel update. But yeah, Skyrim's not going anywhere. Still working on that. Let's see. Where is my horse, by the way? Oh, I probably left her over where the Stormcloak temporary encampment was with all the catapults and stuff. Well, they really cleared out of here quickly, didn't they? Oh no, the catapults and stuff and the tents are still up and operational for now. Oh yeah, I said I was just gonna fast travel back, didn't I? I do want to see if she stayed where I put her, though. I think it was right next to this stump with the Mora Tapanella. Yep, there she is. There's our best friend in the whole world right there. Feel ya. All right. What's the magic word? All peanut butter sandwiches? I'm here. My data can't even stream Pandora, so I came to the park to watch. Oh, nice. Aurora, welcome, welcome. Hope it's a nice day where you are. I hope you're not like sitting in the rain or something just to watch my stream, but I do appreciate it. I like Balgriff, but Ulfric is a fucking warrior, just short-sighted. Yeah, I don't know if it's short-sighted as much as it is narrow-sighted. He's going to have to deal with the Empire one way or another, and a weakened Empire means a weakened resistance to the Thalmor when that comes to a head, so I don't know. There were some injustices done by the Empire towards Skyrim that, you know, he's still sore about, so he does have legitimate grievances in that area. Just wish he could have aired those grievances after they sacked the Thalmor, not before. Would have been better for everybody, probably. Let's see. Hugs to all. I've just been farting around in Skyrim as a non-Dragonborn since 2012, so this is all new to me. Oh, okay, so you're doing a Dragonborn run now, Maldaroth? Or are you just living vicariously through me right now? Hey, there's Mr. B. Hugs back at you, buddy. Hope you're doing all right. I like how morally gray the Civil War quest lines are. Yeah, I mean, if you have just an obvious good guy and obvious bad guy, then, you know, it's like a certain portion of the player base just is never going to see that content. I know a few people, actually, who just won't play as an assassin in the Dark Brotherhood because it just makes them too uncomfortable to be that overtly bad, right? Can pick less Tapanella? Maybe. No, I need more Tapanella always. Because I need more money always. Because I need more training always. Sitting in the rain to watch, but there's a metal roof. Okay, well that's actually probably a nice little view then. You just get to sit there and watch the rain. Did you know Elenwyn is as old as the Second Era? Nice. I did not know that. Living vicariously through your gameplay. Okay, so it's been a while since you've seen any of this stuff is what you're saying. I gotcha, I gotcha. I do enjoy playing a non-Dragonborn character. So my first exposure to like roleplay in an RPG game was from Sorcerer Dave, who by the way has an excellent Let's Play going on right now on his channel. He's a bigger channel. I'm sure a good portion of my audience probably also watches Sorcerer Dave. He's pretty big. But my first foray into that was with his Idris playthrough. It was an Altmer in Oblivion, and he had mods that allowed him to completely, it was like the post-Oblivion Crisis mod that he had running, so all the Oblivion gates were shut down, the whole Amulet of Kings thing was not a thing, and it was an alternate start mod, so he didn't start in the dungeon. And he just kind of just milled around, he studied the architecture of the different, what were the elves out there? I'm drawing a blank now. The Heartland High Elves. Those different ruins out there. He did like a study of the architecture and kind of pieced together the stories of what was happening in each one of the ruins. Oh, Silent Echo remembers Idris. That was a good playthrough. The aliens, indeed. Yes, thank you, Silent Echo and 57 Strudel. That's what I was thinking of. And he was just, you know, he was just milling around the countryside, picking up different plants, seeing what he could make out of them as far as alchemy. And then when he had a few extra septums, he would go sleep at an inn and sleep in and have, like, enjoy his coffee and stuff like that. It was a role play first playthrough as a Let's Play, and it really opened my eyes to how this game could be played other than just a straight video game, right? Where you go from quest marker to quest marker and just kill stuff in between. Which I need a healthy dose of that for my own satisfaction, but I also really enjoy. You okay, Ulfric? Aren't I supposed to come here and talk to you about this? Am I bugged?
Losing the rift gives Tullius easy access to the south of Eastmarch. Tullius has camps in the Pale, entertaining thoughts of battle. The Empire still underestimates the force of our cause. It will be their undoing.
I think I might be bugged.
Not entirely true, though not entirely false either. Any Nord can learn the way of the voice by studying with the Greybeards, given enough ambition and dedication.
My high elf who favors the Imperials but will enjoy watching this from an enemy perspective. Yeah, if I'm not stuck.
However, it was my sword piercing his heart that killed him.
It was back in the day, it was indeed.
Soon enough, we will march on Solitude. And on that day, the heroes of Sovngarde.
At the moment, I need to redownload. Yeah, it's tough to do without internet, man.
In fear.
Hybrid Avenger, welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well, buddy. First experience of a roleplay experience was with Variax. Yeah, I tried to actually watch Variax, but that was a chaotic playthrough back when I was doing that. And it just, the pure chaos of the whole thing, I couldn't manage it for very long. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Movable static. Get real close to Ulfric here. What's the journal say to do? I think it says to come report back to Ulfric, yeah. I can't even select Ulfric at the moment. Yeah, let me catch up here. Oh, what's the journal say to do? Could be better. Got a cold. Oh, sorry about that, man. Yeah, that's rough. 'Tis the season, though. Too much playing around. Rykon is good too. I really like Rykon. That guy's all about the voice, but he tells a story, which is usually a pretty straight up story. Following quest lines and things like that. Sorcerer Dave, he does his own thing. He really does his own thing as far as story and roleplay. It's very character centric and not as much game centric. Doing a Voidborn Void Domain Cleric in my D&D session can control space and gravity. Ooh, that sounds powerful. Use mouse scroll wheel. Okay, I don't know that I even have the mouse active. Okay, I do have the mouse active. Furniture. Ulfric, there he is. Thank you about that. You know, Magus knows I'm a filthy controller player, and that's why I can't select him. And I don't know the mouse controls either, so I'm just gonna try to disable him and re-enable him, see if that resets his scripts a little bit. And if that doesn't help, I'm gonna need to do some,
Soon enough, we will march on Solitude.
Yeah, nothing.
And on that day, the hero losing the rift gives Tullius easy act. We're fighting on Skyrim. We're fighting because Skyrim needs heroes. I killed Torrid to prove our wretched condition. How is the High King so... Indeed, but the moot has not yet met...
Shame.
The High Queen, and they won't.
Speak to
Not as long
Galmar?
as I have any say in it. There hasn't for too. It's time we had a real High King. My thought.
Just trying to skip through all his dialogue to see if that helps at all.
I'm not sure why Tullius is wasting his time.
Okay. Yeah, let's try to talk to Galmar.
He wants to throw his men away.
Maybe just reloading the area will help too. Hey, Tom Mole, welcome. Hope you're doing well, friend. Staying warm and dry. Looking for a pre-built PC right now and looking into Starforge computers. Are those any good? I haven't had any experience. The last time I bought a pre-built was iBuyPower, and that, I don't know if it's holding up, but back in the day that was it was more of a minimalist build, so you get more like real components and more real power for the price, with a lot less bloatware than a lot of the other pre-builds. So I don't know. I would look into reviews. A lot of the components are going to be the same. You want quality components. iBuyPower would do that, especially for like the processor, motherboard, and GPU, which are the big things. Everything else can kind of be more cheaply replaced if they're not good. My iBuyPower came with a cheapy all-in-one water-cooled CPU cooler, which I replaced at some point. Same with the power supply, which I also replaced. But it came with a gigabyte GPU, and it came with an ASRock motherboard and an Intel processor, and it really worked well for me for a very, very long time until I started needing to overclock the CPU a little bit, at which point I upgraded the power supply and the all-in-one cooler for some extra headroom. Okay, it looks like Whiterun is mostly back to normal. Let's see if I can talk to Galmar.
Where my breath is long winter. I breathe now.
Brigid sec.
Warm Sands. Time to move over to PC from Xbones. Yes. Yeah, if you want to play Skyrim and get the most out of it, you got to be on PC.
And this talk of dragons?
Just the capacity to fix random bugs through the console window is huge on its own, even without mods. But then this is where the good mods are, because you can do direct engine injection through SKSE and other things like that you can't do on console. Galmar is nowhere to be seen.
The kind I don't want talking to
Balgruuf is still on the throne. That's not good. And now the Stormcloak, okay. Maybe we're better off now. I'm going to go through Windhelm the proper way. Maybe there's a script that's supposed to fire as you load the area or something that didn't before. We might be in a better place now, though. Let's try this out. That's what mine is. The bloatware came from Windows. Yeah, Windows is getting worse about that now than it used to be in the XP days. Even with just regular old Windows 10 was fine. Let's see. Though I had to completely reinstall and downgrade downgrade my CK because I couldn't load the main floor of the Tundra Homestead and couldn't figure out how to get the NPCs to be in the new area of the basement. But realized I forgot the nav mesh. Yeah, that'll do it. Once I get my PC, I'll download Novus Ascension modless. Ooh, nice. Yeah, this is an old version of Novus from 3 years ago, 2 years. I think it's 3 years ago now. I ripped some of the stuff out of that mod list, and I put a lot of my own stuff in there. It's probably very different nowadays. But I like to stick with a mod list for a long time. Yeah, for a solid mid-range these days, you're probably looking around 1,500 for a pre-built. There was a significant amount of inflation in the tech quadrant, especially in the GPU space. Nvidia hiked their prices, and they haven't really come back down. The supers now are kind of bringing prices back down in line. But yeah, prices skyrocketed when everybody was locked down during the pandemic lockdowns and things like that, because you know people were stuck at home, not able to do anything. So now
we've driven the Imperials out of Whiterun. This is good, very good.
There we go. Yeah, I just needed to reset the scripts. I think we're good now.
It's a powerful position. One I aim to keep. We'll call you Ice Vein.
Yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so
of our land
yeah, Nvidia hiked the prices because everybody was buying computer equipment, getting into PC gaming and even console gaming and stuff. There was a pandemic bubble for video games for sure, and now that's starting to pop, and that's a big reason why you're seeing all these layoffs is that demand just isn't there like it was during the pandemic. But yeah, the prices are coming down very slowly on the super line that they just put out. Hopefully that's a trend that continues. What's our next move?
I suspect you'll be of greater use to us with greater freedom. So you're free to engage the Imperials.
James, how's it going, buddy? I'm doing well.
But I also want you to find our hidden camp in Fort Greeth. Galmar will have special tasks for you. And
Mods pre-creation update just... Yeah, I mean, Skyrim's been in a state of flux. I mean, I would recommend just downgrading all the way to 1.5.97, which is where we were before AE hit, right? That's still the one that's working best. Try to, if you're running mods, avoid the update. Just don't update. Even if you are aware that you shouldn't be updating and you think you have your stuff backed up and you think you have your stuff blocked, double check. Because you're gonna be in a sad state if they do push an update and you accidentally get it and you have no recourse of just dropping those files back in. Let's see. Understood. We're not asking questions. So, okay, a little bit of roleplay talk here. The Steger was born under the sign of the Shadow, and he was also an orphan of war. His parents both served either as part of the Great War or they were Stormcloaks or whatever. I haven't gotten the timelines. They probably served in the Great War, is what I'm guessing, based on his age now. And they both died. He was born in an orphanage where he got his fair share of bullying because he was born under the sign of the Shadow, and he was always just kind of quiet and creepy. Oh, look at this. Headless bodyguard. Oh my god. A whole headless caravan. Oh, that's funny. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So now he really just craved a sense of belonging and a sense of family, which he was looking for with the camaraderie of the Stormcloaks. But he was conscripted as sort of a sleeper agent. His task was to go and sneak up on a saber cat and kill the apex predator of Skyrim without ever being seen. And he's done that. That was his rite of passage. Now he gets to come back and join the Stormcloaks properly. And he's been joining his brothers in arms. Liberate Falkreathhold. He's been joining his brothers in arms on the front lines now, joining the fight in earnest, but he still feels like he's getting side-eye from a lot of people, and a lot of people are standoffish. They won't talk to him. They won't engage with him. So he's like... He was looking for this to fix his loneliness issues, and he almost feels more lonely now being part of this group that still isn't fully accepting him. So there's a little bit of internal and interpersonal and even societal conflict going on here. You know, circles of conflict. So he's a very troubled individual, which is probably a big deal of why he tends to favor the voices in his head or anything else, including things like, ooh, are those the Khajiit? Things like Daedric entities talking to him. He's much more likely to pay heed than maybe somebody else who is in a better headspace. Stoneflower petals, yes, these are good for smithing, I believe. They have I think a 50% multiplicative boost to your, to whatever your smithing boost you get from the potion when you craft a smithing potion using stoneflower petals. So yeah, we'll take those. In fact, all of the stuff that you get from from the Khajiit caravans as part of the, what do they call them, rare curios creation. They're all worth buying whenever you can find them because of the crafting implications on there. Okay, on our way to our next level of block training. Okay, now we need to head back to Falkreath. So let's go ahead and just skip back to Whiterun here, where we were before, and then we'll travel to Falkreath. I just try not to recover terrain traveled on a live stream. It gets too, you know, homogenous. The terrain gets too homogenous, and it's like it just gets boring to look at, in my opinion. But if we're forging new terrain, then we're good. Let's do a horse whistle here. See if we can find Philia for the ride back to Falkreath. And I got a lot of catching up to do on chat here. I saw this moving. That's why I refused to update to 1170. I kicked a hornet's nest on the price component, the component prices here, huh? And the creation updates. Let's see. Been seeing that too. Headless, clothless enemies, T-posing, chasing after. Oh, that's probably just a console resources thing. That's the CPU on that Xbone is not cut out for modded Skyrim, that's for sure. Creations, yeah, not paying $7 for a quest mod that has the chance to potentially be bugged when you buy it. Remember, their base files aren't even clean. Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same mind. I mean, the AE upgrade was kind of like a no-brainer because there was so much content in that for such a little price if you got it on sale. So I have the AE content. I don't choose to have all of them active, but a lot of like the armor and weapon stuff and some of the quest lines are kind of fun. I kept those in. That kind of stuff helps with builds too. I think most of the community is on AE, especially if you're considering the console community. So having access to those things in like a build guide is pretty smart in my opinion. But I'm running 1.597 with a lot of the Creation Club content, a lot of the AE stuff. So it's kind of a best of both worlds approach. All my mods work, and then you have to run that bees mod to enable mods that were built on newer versions of the platform of the EXE and of Creation Kit of the Creation Club. Not Creation Engine or Creation Kit. I had it right the first time. To work with an older version of Skyrim, and that's worked fine for me too. So I'm in a happy spot right now, not upgrading anytime soon, not remodding anytime soon, but I will be adding some mods that I've been wanting for a while for my warrior, mage, and thief playthroughs coming up after the Steger playthrough here is gone and done and dusted. Yeah, A is $15 for 74 mods, while creations are $6 to $10 per one mod. Yeah, the price, the economy is completely whacked for those creations. Whoops. I clicked the button instead of just letting them pick it automatically. Completely out of whack. I would never ever pay full price for a creation. But some people on console, that's like, there are free mods, but I don't know, you're not getting the full experience as if you were on PC, especially if you're on PlayStation. If you're a PlayStation gamer, those creations are your only sort of option for real, quote unquote, real mods, because there are no third-party dependencies allowed on that platform. And it's easy to say, yeah, if you want to play Skyrim, you gotta be on another platform. But some people don't have a choice. Some people just don't have a lot of money, and they've decided to buy their PlayStation because of the exclusives they had, or their parents bought it for them, and that's the console that their family chose. So they just don't have an option of just simply buying an Xbox One or buying a PC. Stuck on PlayStation, which isn't ideal, but at least for now is all they can manage. So for them, it's like, okay, wait for that shit to go on sale, or sometimes they rotate like free creations every once in a while after they've been out for a while. At least I've heard. Wait for them to go free, and then you can download them. It's worth it for free. Especially if you're on PlayStation. Magus is still running 1.597, yeah. 1.664 is the version to be on now. I haven't kept up because I haven't had to remod. Halgari is working on a new version of the downgrade patchers since they both needed rebuilding. Okay, cool. Good to know that they've got our back. Got AE for the resources like textures, but downgraded it back to 1.597 and removed all the CC content. I mean, to be honest, there's not really any must-have content in the whole AE stuff. There's a lot of new weapons, new armor. There's some quest lines that are fun to play through, but none of them have like actual third-party voice support. Some of the new creations do. What's going on here? Is this guy an enemy? No. Fighting the skeletons up there. Next to those graves. Oh, zombies. Uh-oh. Okay. Very dark. Was that it? There's usually a lot more zombies than just those. Oh, they've been cutting through them for a while, it seems. Here. Don't have to use the Steam Depot once that happens. Yeah, it's kind of clunky, but at least that's a solid, stable solution that we've had forever, was the Steam Depot, so that'll always be there if you need it. Not the easiest thing to do, but it's not the hardest thing to do either. Much easier with the downgrade patchers, for sure. This one has yet to fully implement AE. Perhaps the next build without paid mods, of course. Yeah, of course, yeah. There's stuff that's worthwhile there, but not anything absolutely necessary, like I was saying. Yeah, Xbox is only... Yeah, Xbox is very limited. Definitely not the full experience. I mean, I'd rather play vanilla Skyrim than no Skyrim. Yeah, me too. And I do play vanilla Skyrim when I don't have access to my PC, for sure. It's still fun. The game is definitely dated. It definitely has its warts, but I still appreciate it. I still like it. I don't have the luxury to buy a PC, so I'm stuck to Xbox. Not trying to argue, but it's my experience. Yeah, no, I get it. I'm totally with you. Well, Xbox is better than PlayStation. I mean, count your blessings that you got the Xbox and not the PlayStation. They're all pretty stable. Yeah, I think you've been having good luck. I mean, it's a pain managing all these versions and stuff, especially. Oh man, I mean, it's like so many mods on the Nexus. It's like these only work for 1.597. These only work for 1.6 whatever, and then there's some that only work with the latest version. And there are ways to get around that, obviously, with the address library and bees and all that. I wish they would come up with a better solution. And I think once they get so a big part of some of the big Skyrim updates were making changes to the way the saber cats. Making changes to the way versioning happens so that they don't have to do a Skyrim EXE update every time they have a new Creation Club launch, right? Now, once they get all the bugs and stuff worked out of the UI for the new Creation Club front end, that in theory should separate the regular Creation Club content from the Skyrim EXE version. So at some point, the end game here should be that the Skyrim EXE versions and all the regular plugins and everything, they don't ever need to get updated again. That they can just post the creations to the Creation Club servers, and then have the front end just, you know, do its thing for console users and whoever wants to participate in that program. And then they don't have to screw up everybody's mods on PC by reversioning that EXE every single time. This should separate the Skyrim EXE from these constant updates, but right now they still need to update the Skyrim EXE in order to fix the Creation Club UI. And once they get all that stuff figured out, we should be in a more stable place. I don't think it would be completely stable, but it will be more stable than it is. Still no strange cat claws. Are you kidding me? Well, dang. Well, dang. At Karn113, he's my predecessor. I'm hoping after finding employment, I will make to order a PC or laptop because I want to play Skyrim and Farming Simulator, or whatever version. And CNC. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, have goals, set goals, write them down, check them off as you get there. He simply removed the mods that didn't work and kept the ones that did, and his game is 100% smooth. Okay. Removing mods mid-play isn't the best. It definitely isn't. You need a new game when you remove a mod. Same with adding. Yep, I've definitely completely trashed save files with by adding mods that should have been safe. You have a vanilla Sky, yeah, that you play on? Okay, cool. That's called a clean save. I believe you can take a vanilla save and apply it, or open it up on a modded save, as long as it doesn't have mods removed or added on that save, and you should be fine to pick it up from there. It's kind of a makeshift alternate start here on console. It's definitely the way to do it. Getting the load order correct manually is the big thing. Yep. Yeah, but there are still form IDs and stuff that that you remove from the game that can cause issues. It's not just about scripting. I went the long way around here, didn't I? Oh no, I'm still good. I'm still good. We'll take the left. And when we get here to Falkreath, let's go ahead and we'll stay at the inn. We're not wearing Stormcloak attire here, so we should be good staying in the inn without arousing any kind of suspicion. Can I get off my horse, please? There we go. And then we'll meet up with our fellow cloaks in the morning.
Come on in. Let me know if you need anything.
The new creation launch fucked me with my experience. I had a good mod list and load order. Yeah, that's the other thing, is you can't really control updates on console, can you? Go through and remod it back to how it was. Yeah, that's gross. I've had to do that a couple times, actually. I always wait until the mod authors address the changes BGS puts out. 1.6.1130 was the worst yet. They neglected to include Steam hooks. Eesh. Just plain unacceptable. It is indeed. How do you not do that? If you're going to be making updates, at least, you know, do them right. But, you know, the thing is, they're not using their A team, right? They're using some like B or C team or some interns or whoever the low man on the totem pole is at Bethesda Game Studios to do these Skyrim updates, right? Probably like modders that they've hired through their Creation Club program, which is great. I'm all for modders, you know, having an in-ways into the industry. That's awesome. There are some good stories there.
Excuse me, sir. I don't normally do
but they're
this,
not putting their
have
vets,
you got a moment to talk?
their big guns on this old project, right? So there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be people who, oh, why am I talking to Lucian? I'm not taking that guy on. I just need a bed for the night, please.
Welcome to Dead Man's Drink.
So they're going to be mistakes. They'll get better. These people are smart. They're just inexperienced. They'll figure it out. In the meantime, there's going to be a lot of growing pains, right? A little bit of understanding goes a long way, but for an old game that we just want to mod, it is definitely infuriating for them to keep moving our cheese, right?
Yes? I understand.
If we wanted new experiences outside of mods with this game, we'd be playing a new game, right? Let's see here. Let's pray just to keep the old gods on our side. I don't want to go too long without praying because yeah, we're at 198%, which is great. Keep up with the bear for now, for protection. Do a full 12 hours. Cheese for everyone! Yes. No script cleaner on console either, yeah.
Scourge that has sullied our hopes and our dreams.
It's the people who work in these AAA studios. No, not the studios. People working in AAA studios have tons of passion. They're the most passionate people. They're just as passionate as the AA guys. They may be working on a project that they're not passionate about, but they still do have vision. They still do want to create the best thing possible. It's not the studio, it's the publishers. Please don't point your ire at the people who are actually making these games. Point your ire at the people who are selling these games and telling the studios what to make. No, it's not the developers, I promise you. It's the publishers, it's the marketers. Yep, people making the games don't want it either. They just want to make the best game possible. And they're trying. A lot of them don't have the experience. A lot of startups... Oh my god. A lot of startups don't have the money for, like, a lot of licensed stuff, actually, too. Hold on. We got a damn dragon here out of nowhere. And suddenly, dragon. An ancient one, too. Good God. That guy's still chopping wood. He is dedicated. He is indeed. All right, let's get some poisons in here. Now I can use the deadly spider venom. Lots of hack and slash. Block. Oh! Whew, ancient dragons are tough, boy. I need some fire resistance for this one, and I need to be a little more focused on my chop block rhythm there. See the future of gaming moving to gamers and modders making games and AAA studios moving to publishing those games. Maybe. I mean, we still need the... AAA gaming isn't going anywhere completely. There has been a bubble building up for a long time. Decades, actually, in the AAA gaming space. Games have been getting more and more expensive to make, and then the marketing the executives, the top corner office type people, they've been taking a huge cut of the money that's involved in that stuff. So just games being more expensive to make doesn't have everything to do with just technology being more expensive and developers being more expensive and the cost to actually make games being more expensive. The cost to produce and sell games has gotten a lot more expensive, and it's gotten more and more. The Andrew Wilsons of the world, to a lesser degree, people like Pete Hines and even Phil Spencer, these major publishers taking more and more cut. And of course, usually that would be with an increase of quality because, you know, they're putting more money into these games to get more eyeballs. And of course, shareholders are happy because in a less competitive video game market 10, 20, 30 years ago, all you'd have to do was put millions of dollars into a game to create some cutting edge graphics and some decent gameplay, and people would be going crazy for that stuff. Everybody was buying it. Everybody who was interested in video games anyway. And then so now the money people start coming in. The Andy Wilsons of the world, the Microsofts, the Ubisofts. What's the guy? The Eve guy and the Ubisoft guy. He's one of the worst ones too. They all like, okay, we're gonna infuse a bunch of money into this, but we are gonna take an egregious cut. Pretty much just like any, you know, big corporate business type, right? So as the gaming industry grew, everything was good, but now all of a sudden it's like you're reaching a tipping point where people who just aren't interested in games aren't going to be interested in games, or the people who are mildly interested in games but are only going to play Call of Duty, or are only going to play Minecraft, or are only going to play Skyrim. You're not getting any more money from them, so there is no more growth in the industry. That bubble's popping, and that bubble's popping right now. And we're going to see a huge contraction, I think, in AAA game space, but they're still going to be there. There's still a hunger for that in the industry. There's just not going to be, you know, 53 AAA game releases all in a year anymore like there was last year. Last year tipped everything over the edge, I think. There were so many Game of the Year type games that came out last year, and nobody has time to play any of them. Even like hardcore gamers who spend most of their free time, or if they don't have a job, playing, like spending all of their free time playing video games. They don't have, or even games journalists, they don't have time to play all these games. So it's just overly saturated with too much good stuff, and it's not enough just to put out a game anymore. You have to, especially with the live service stuff. The live service stuff is another huge bubble that popped all at once. I feel like I'm ranting. I'm becoming more and more incoherent. And I'm starting to fight a dragon at the same damn time. Yeah, so no, I kind of felt like this was coming, you know, 15, 20 years ago. Oh, now it's a frost dragon. Anyway, that's my rant. I should cut that up and make it a video, put it on the channel, get 500,000 views on it. Let's see here. What do I need? I need not using the deadly spider poison anymore, just using deadly poison. Let's do resist. I need some ice wraith essence, that would work. Regeneration, yes please. And I need to go into the proper menu here. Oh yeah, the live service stuff is also crazy. It's like there was a huge shift. Production companies moving all of their dev resources to live service games. Even if they weren't experienced or had that skill set. Let me focus on this. Yeah, many very talented studios have met their demise at their production company overlords, forcing them into live service game development when they weren't prepared for it. They're not good at it. They're not experienced for it. And if you're talking about, ooh, that's a sexy sword. And if you're talking about oversaturation in a market, the live service genre is extremely oversaturated. People play 1 or 2 live service games because that's all they have time for. That's all they can keep up with. And they might spend some money in those games, but they're only spending money in those games. They're not going and playing live service games as a genre. They're playing that game. And that's what like big studio, or not studio, production company executives never really realized, right? They never understood the market. They never understood gamers. They just looked at it as a business like anything else. And that's all really coming to a head right now. And a lot of talented studios have met their demise because they were pushed into these live service developing these live service games. It didn't go well for obvious reasons. And then all of a sudden, now they have a tanked project that they never wanted in the first place, so they get shuttered. That's kind of what happened to BioWare. I'm hoping BioWare comes back. That's what's happening to Rocksteady right now with the Suicide Squad, and a whole bunch of others that never really were able to get off the ground. Luckily for BGS, they spun up a new Austin team that had a lot of old Ultima Online developers on there working on Fallout 76. So that didn't tank the studio. I think they knew that wasn't going to be a huge success when they did it. So BGS has survived, kinda, but I mean, even their single-player games are kind of live service games with the nickel and diming they do with microtransactions, or not so microtransactions in the case of the Creation Club. Anyway, okay. Slow time sure works pretty well. I don't even know if I have that one. Once I get into the rhythm on the fingers, I'm pretty good though. These publishers just make cinematic style, overly realistic graphics when real gamers don't give a shit about that. I actually do like, I'm impressed with good graphics, but not at the cost of gameplay. The game has to be fun to play. If I just want to watch a movie with good visuals, I'll go watch a Marvel movie or something. I don't want to spend $70 to play a video game that I don't get to play, right? All the next gen stuff, just good stories and good stories and gameplay. Sure, yeah, and I think a lot of that stuff is going to be pared down. I think as AAA space that bubble's popping, as we're seeing now with a bunch of layoffs and stuff in the industry, we're going to see a pare back. So the indie gaming has had a moment for a long time. Lower fidelity graphics with super fun gameplay has been a thing for years, and it's gaining market share on the AAA space. There are a ton of really good indie games out there that they thrive on their game design and their art design, their art style, and that's always worthwhile to play, right? It's kind of a return to the old arcade design, right? Good graphics are just a bonus. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, old arcade games. They made tons of money a quarter at a time with extremely limited graphical prowess, and they had to do it all based on game design. What is this gameplay cycle? What is this loop we're going to put the player through? Is it engaging? Is it fun? And if it is, and we have some kind of goal to get at the end, then they're going to start pumping quarters in over and over and over again. And they were extremely limited on hardware back then, and they made some absolute classic bangers back then too that were so fun to play, and still are. So I think we'll be seeing a return to that. It's already happening in the indie space, especially if like you don't mind like a roguelike or a roguelite. Those are some of the best designed games in the industry, which is why the indie developers flock to those style of games. You can have a nice tight gameplay loop without having to make an expansive, huge, overly crowded game like an Ubisoft, like Assassin's Creed or Far Cry game. Something like Sifu or Neon White, or Dead Cells even. You can play those games forever. Hades was an excellent roguelike with a very tight little gameplay loop that was extremely fun to play. Liberate Falkreath Hold. Where the hell am I going? Oh, all the way over here next to Helgen. Head for Helgen. Okay, let me see. We're having a good conversation going here. I'm ranting. I'm not one for a rant, but I needed to get that out. I've been due for one for a while. I still generally really like video games. I still get really excited for AAA releases. I'm super excited for Dragon's Dogma 2. I played Tekken 8. That game is awesome. There's still a lot of really, really good games coming out, and there still will be for the foreseeable future. I'm not worried about that. But we're just not going to get any more 2023 years anymore, where just, you know, a AAA Game of the Year contender is coming out every single month and sometimes multiple times a month. Suicide Squad and Gotham Knights, the Batman franchise, is not having fun right now. Yeah, but at least... Oh, welcome in, King. He probably slipped in. I didn't see it because I was ranting in a blind rage. At least Gotham Knights, I don't think, was made by the development studio, the Rocksteady development studio, was it? That was an offshoot. Kind of a subsidiary that shared the same license. I love Slow Time Shout. Wish you moved fast and they moved slow. That's how it was before the patch, like Sandevistan in CP77. Yeah. CP77 is another one, and that's another pattern that I see continuing. Is these AAA releases? The release is like early access for all intents and purposes. You have to be willing, if you're going to play a AAA game at launch, you know that it's going to be busted and they're going to fix it over time. That's just the way it is. And you're kind of rolling the dice a little bit whether or not they ever fix it. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was one that came out last year that they put a lot of patches into, but they never really fixed what was really wrong with it. But things like Starfield are getting a lot of support, which are pissing off modders right now because they keep they keep changing their EXE version and breaking their mods. But yeah, I would highly suggest not. If you really want to do a long playthrough of a game, don't start modding it within a year of its release. There are gonna be too many updates. They're gonna get you jacked, all jacked up at one point. Let's see if I can kill this doggy without getting off my horse. Tekken 8 looks solid. Yep. Sure is. I kind of want to do a video on Tekken 8 too, because I have thoughts on that. Games like Dead Cells, Mark of the Ninja, they call Metroidvania. Yeah. No, yeah, that's another one that's like that Metroidvania game design was one of those that was a masterclass in game design, along with like the roguelite. And you can mix and match those game genres too. And it's something that indie devs can do that's always compelling to a player. Am I going the right way here? Yes, this is Helgen. Okay. And it's something that you can develop for relatively cheaply, and you can put it on Steam for, you know, $30 or something. It'll go on sale for half price once it gains some steam. Pardon the pun.
Do your worst.
What you gonna do, huh? What you gonna do?
I guess the main complaint about Metroidvanias and things like that is that there is a lot of saturation in that too.
Time to die, kiddo.
If you play like 3 or 4 Metroidvanias back to back, you're gonna get burnt out on the genre for a while, for sure. There we go. Slide tackle for the win. Oh, let me see. Who's the guy who tanked Unity? Oh, that guy's been tanking the video game industry for his entire career. I don't remember his name, but I know you're talking about. Yeah, he's one of the bad ones. He's one of the Andy Wilsons of the world for sure. Yeah, don't blame the people making the games. Blame the people selling the games. That's my advice. Yeah, come and get it.
It's a bad time to get lost.
I ain't scared. Even 3 of you at once. I'm a damn shaman assassin. Oh, I didn't know there was a mage though. I wouldn't have been talking so much crap if I knew there was a mage. Be some good ingredients on this deer here. Metroidvania, combination of Metroid and Castlevania. Yep. Remember Hogwarts was super popular everywhere on YouTube and Twitch when it came out. Then like 2 to 3 months later, it just died right off, it seems. Yeah, and actually, I'm glad you brought that up. A lot of is because that happens these days, especially when there's so many AAA releases coming out. For a lot of people, that Hogwarts Legacy game was a AAA game that came out. It happened to be good, but it was just most people's, at least gamers anyway, that had a huge audience of Harry Potter fans for sure. But for a lot of gamers, there was a huge amount of us that played that game just as kind of like a stopgap for another game that we were actually waiting for later on in the year. That's why I played it, and that's also why I dropped off after a couple months without ever finishing it, because new stuff was coming out that I wanted to play. And I think it's the same story with Starfield. The player counts on that has really dropped off, and a lot of people are saying they're looking at the Steam numbers and they're saying, oh, their player count has dropped to like 7% of what it was at launch, and that's completely understandable because that game had a huge launch. There was so many. That was the biggest launch, not only in Game Pass history, but I think in Microsoft exclusive game history, and in BGS history. There were a lot more people who bought and played that game than any other BGS game, any other Microsoft game, and any other Game Pass game at launch ever. It was a huge success for Microsoft. But because there's so much stuff, and just the culture of gaming now is like you pick something up, you play it for a little bit, you play the next thing that you're curious about because there's so many game releases, it kind of gives you gaming ADD, right? The gaming space is different now than it was back then. When Skyrim came out, there was no Baldur's Gate 3 to switch to. Skyrim was the Baldur's Gate 3 that people were waiting for. There was no competition. There was Demon's Souls, which was a Western style RPG. But that was a PlayStation 3 exclusive. Not a lot of people played it, and just the
You're going to Fort Newland. They have some
what
of
am
our
I
boys
thinking?
locked up there. But with a little luck, we can turn that.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
I've sent some men to scout out the area. Meet them. See if you
Oh
can
yeah,
find
just
a way
the
to
sheer
split them.
design
Your
of a
men
Souls-like
take
game,
over
which
the
started
fort.
with Demon's
They'll
Souls,
never
is
suspect an attack from the
it
inside.
automatically precludes a
This
huge
won't
amount of
be
gamers
easy,
from even
but
being
that's
able
why
to
I'm
play and
sending
enjoy
you.
it for a very long
You got the
period of
grit
time.
to get this
Skyrim
done.
was what people were switching to back then. Now it's like Starfield comes out, and I still have a huge backlog of AAA bangers that I haven't touched yet. So I'm gonna get through the story. I'm gonna switch to another game. Of course, people are dropping it. Different world now than it was in Skyrim. Skyrim days. Is there the iframes in the kill cams? No, I don't have iframes for kill cams, but I do have a stun pulse that a second after the kill cam starts, then all the enemies around me are stunned or staggered. It just happened that kill cam took a while, and they recovered from their stun. They were too close.
I see. Well, Nick, you're going. They have some. I've sensed they'll never. This won't be easy. Go with the 9.
At the end of the day, I'm just a guy who likes video games, but it doesn't stop me from having deep thoughts about them, right? Short for invincibility, yes, yes. Hogwarts Legacy has one bad thing, at least for me, gameplay loop. The story is very good, again, on a personal... Oh, you don't like the gameplay? I actually really like the gameplay. It was very simple, right? And it was very repeated with, like... But I really liked the timed parry mechanic on the wand. I thought it was fun. I really liked the gameplay of it, but it did get a little repeaty. There weren't, like, multiple ways to actually approach a battle. It was just kind of... block a spell, parry a spell, reflect a spell, and then hit with your own combination of spells. There was some freedom in the combination of spells that you use, but it all kind of felt the same to play. Kind of like Skyrim. Without mods, anyway. Bethesda will put out... Well, Skyrim is different, right? On its own, yes, Skyrim was really good when it came out. Okay, I'm talking about vanilla Skyrim here, not Skyrim with mods. I will agree with you, Skyrim with mods is the best thing Bethesda ever put out. But Skyrim with mods is not a game that Bethesda put out. That was a game that... vanilla Skyrim was a game that Bethesda put out, and then the Skyrim community came and made it the best game of all time. And the best game that probably will ever be. This game caught lightning in a bottle with its mod scene. I don't think... Even Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to have the mod scene that Skyrim does. Which is probably why I'm going to be playing Skyrim for the rest of my life, among other games. I'm not going to forsake Elder Scrolls 6 or any other BGS release, really, because they're still the only ones doing what they do in the industry. As much as you want, as much as a lot of people like to hate on them, they're still the only ones putting all these dynamic environments together in a way that you can play in a highly repeatable RPG with character concept challenges that you can do from the top to the bottom, from character creation to progression to storytelling and everything like that. Nobody does it like BGS does, as far as giving players the freedom and a sandbox to tell their own stories and implement their own character concepts. Where the hell am I going? Starfield does it better than any contemporary RPG release, except for maybe Baldur's Gate 3, right? But Baldur's Gate 3 is a much different kind of game that's not going to appeal to a lot of the same people that like BGS games. The isometric kind of slow-paced, turn-based, point-and-click style combat is not going to do it for everybody. Which is why those type of games had such a rut, while games like Skyrim were taking off and making more of a foothold. Okay, new grad. Okay, so this might be where we cook as an infiltrator. All right, let me tell you what. I'm gonna take a quick break here. I need a snack. I haven't eaten breakfast yet today. I'm still kind of hungry. I don't get hungry in the mornings. Something with my metabolism, which is good. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna get a snack. I'm gonna refresh my water. Get some backup caffeine in case I need it, and I'll be back in just a few minutes, okay? Okay. Okay, I'm back. Let's see here. So wait, Karn, you think the developers of these AAA studios have more passion for making games than modders do? That's a wide net cast on both sides. I think generally they don't have more than the modders do, but I think they have as much as the modders do. So AAA game development is a tough business to be in. If you're a developer on a AAA game, you're doing that because you are passionate about games, and probably more specifically, you're passionate about the game that you're working on. A developer, a software developer, can make more money for less work, less crunch time, less pressure, less stress overall, for working on a productivity software like I do. I know that if I worked in the video game industry that I would get burnout. I would be working a lot harder, and I would probably end up hating the thing that I worked on. So the people who are working on these games, they're passionate about what they're doing. I think that's just the way it is. These developers in the games industry don't make as much as you would think they do. Maybe people at the very top who are doing like the top-end graphics rendering technology for Nvidia and stuff like that, and like Rockstar and stuff, they're making more money than the average video game developer. But if we're talking about averages here, yeah, there's much easier money to be had in software development than working on a video game. Now, obviously, some people are just trying to get into the industry, or some people just, you know, where's my horse? Some people don't have the, or they're just looking for a job, and maybe there's like something in support or something in release management or something that they can do without having video game experience. And that's just a job to them. But then at the same time, modders are not, some people are just modding for fun. They don't have a passion for it. They're just learning something and they enjoy it. They're going to put something out and not support it. You see that all the time in the modding community. Somebody puts something out that's a good idea and then they just don't support it. They let it die. And now everybody who was using that mod and waiting for these fixes, they just disappear. And now it's like, all right. It happens all the time. The reason why you might see more high quality mods than you do AAA game releases is because modders they're not bound by budget or deadlines. They have all the time in the world. They're working on something that they want to work on. If they want, they can put 12 hours a day into it, or 24 hours in a day, and then take a week off and not work on it and refresh themselves. Like these flowers here, somebody spent months and months and months of their life working on these flowers, and they look absolutely gorgeous. But that was one person working months and months and months and applying tons of experience in 3D modeling and texture modeling and things like that to get these flowers absolutely just right for someone like me who is just going to ride by it at the speed of light on a horse, right? You can't do that in a AAA gaming space because there's budgets attached to everything. These flowers would have cost way too much money to even make it into an actual AAA release, because that 3D artist also needs to work on the saddles, needs to work on the trees, needs to work on these rocks, needs to work on the roads. They need to work on weapons and armor and everything too. Whereas the modder, whoever made this flower, I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, very talented artist, whoever it is, got to take their time, got to take years and years and years if they wanted it, or more likely probably months once they were passionate about it and got the motivation to do it, to make that art and get it put into the game, and then to actually support it once it was out. That's the main difference between modding and... Are you guys already fighting without me? Son of a bitch. So I guess I'm not doing the whole infiltration thing. We're just going at it. All right.
Somebody
Someone
help.
do
This
something.
should be
I was going to make sure that I was under the totem of the bear, but I think that I am.
This should be good.
All right, let's get in there, I guess.
Send Ulfric my regards.
Dr. Jacobo? The guy from Twin Peaks? Yeah, they already started this without me. That's weird.
Scratch.
Anyone else? Oh boy. All right.
The sons of Skyrim. That's your best.
Sorry there, Rayloff. You started without me. What are you doing?
There's more of them somewhere around here.
All right, we'll wait in the courtyard. I might be able to infiltrate the inside at least. There's a hidden entrance down by the lake on the other side of this fortress over here. Let's go find that. Sometimes they do hire modders to work for them, yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, right? It's not modders versus AAA game developers. They're the same pool of people. What makes the difference is the people telling them what to work on and what they think the market wants them to release and wants to buy. As a base release, though, Starfield was solid. I agree. It was actually one of the most solid releases of 2023. In fact, if you put that up against Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3 had the same pattern. They just called it something different. Larian, that was in early access for years. I want to say like 5 years. Close to it anyway. That you could buy Baldur's Gate 3 close to 5 years ago and play it. You know, maybe just like the first act, the first 2 acts, and there were only certain classes available, but you could buy that game in early access and play it years and years ago. The problem is a lot of these AAA publishers, not developers, publishers are releasing these games early and charging you full price for them under the assumption that this game is done and ready to go. And then they go ahead and, you know, they release a broken game that has to be fixed over the course of the next year. So in that regard, Starfield was one of the better, more solid releases of the year. Baldur's Gate 3 and Larian are kind of its own little thing because they did it the right way. Their publisher is different. Their publisher allowed them to release that in early access, as they're probably following the recommendations of the developers and the gamers who worked for them, saying that no, this is the right way to do it. And they had a good guy publisher who said, yeah, okay, let's do it that way. But yeah, a lot of people like to crap on Starfield's release and the way that it shipped in, but comparatively, it's a really good AAA release. Okay. I mean, back in the day of like Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, yeah, it probably would have not been in a great shape as a release, but
Get me out of here.
the guard has the key.
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Hey,
There's a key right there. I thought there would probably be a key, and I can't even pick up the damn key. Can I do it in third person, maybe?
hurry! Hurry! Get me out of here.
All right, well, these are novice level locks anyway. May as well take the level progression for it. CK had, yeah, I don't know that,
Thanks.
I would have loved the CK to be released with the game. And, you know, Todd and everybody else says how important the modding scene is for their games, but did they do anti-modding stuff like the EXE updates and things like that? Or not releasing modding tools along with the game. But they also haven't had a pattern. I think
All right.
they typically release their CK 6 months after release of the game. Anyway, that's just been the pattern that they've established. And what modders have been doing without the official modding tools have been pretty cool to see in that game. I think the courtyard's pretty clear. Now I'm trying to get the insides cleared out here. Haven't seen a single Imperial yet, though. I worked in telecommunications, and even there, my work was stifled by the suits. I built in quality of life features, but had to remove them and put in stuff that would make them rely on paying us for it. Yep. That's how it be. It's a shame your guy couldn't be buddies with Mirak. You know, I'm not sure, actually, if the Novus guide that I'm running now has the Mirak as a follower. I might be able to save him. I'm not sure. So I might actually be able to be buddies with Mirak. It's kind of garbage software developers everywhere have to deal with. The game developers may want you to have stuff, but their bosses may disagree. Well, yeah, also so AAA game development is very expensive, right? So it all becomes like a budgetary concern at some point. And a big part of that budget is QA. Being able to test this thing with like a whole bunch of features and everything that your user base is asking for. It takes a certain amount of time to develop, but then it kind of takes a multiplicatively long time to test all that completely. You know, depending on how you have your test infrastructure set up with automation and things like that. All right, am I done here? Or are there more dudes to kill? And I'm still completely invisible. That's nice. I still have more dudes to kill. Yeah, because they don't want their investors to run away. No, exactly, because they don't want their investors to run away because they're trying to cut costs. Investors don't care about how good the game is. They really don't. Investors just want to make money. So these studios that are pushing out these live service games and everything, that's what the investors want, even if it's not what the gamers want. Investing is part of the problem. That's why indie development can crank out such more innovative games and features and things like that. Less cost, less risk. And they usually just have, you know, one group or one person shouldering the responsibility for what that game may or may not lose in terms of money. Valheim is still EA, yeah. Most developers, publishers will EA a game to get consumer feedback, to fine-tune the game off to the community to play it. I played the fuck out of Starfield, got 120 hours in, then I started noticing a trend of the copy pasta linear planets. Yeah, no, that's a valid complaint about the game. Absolutely. Got burnout, and then CP 77 2.0 came out, and now I have like 400 hours in that. Now I'm back to Skyrim. That's the loop, right? At some point, Starfield will have a bunch of new stuff to try out, and everybody's going to be talking. I'm sure there's going to be a redemption arc for Starfield. Absolutely, there will be. It's just part of the pattern. When Cyberpunk 2077 came out, that game was a freaking mess. That was way worse than Starfield. That was one of the horror stories of AAA development. But they eventually fixed their game, and they got a nice boost by the Edge Runners anime that kind of caught lightning in a bottle, so they kind of got lucky about that one. They basically got a second release window for free from that Netflix series. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I think that's going to be a pattern in AAA development for a while. It's like they give you this early access game that's in this early access state, but charge you full price for it, and don't tell you what kind of state it's really in or what to expect. And that's all shareholders, publisher nonsense. That's not the developers. The developers would be happy to work on it until it's fixed. In fact, the Cyberpunk 2077, they had developers just like publicly like admonishing the CEO of the company in front of everybody, saying, "We told you it wasn't ready. Why did you release it?" And he just had to stand up there and take it, because he knew exactly what he was doing. And it was all about, even though CDPR I think is a private company, there's still a giant business that has to run, and every year that they develop a game that they don't release it is hundreds of millions of dollars lost. That they both have to pay their employees and not get the revenue from it.
There's more of them somewhere around.
Oh
here.
my God, where even are they?
Lead
All right.
the way.
This is annoying. CDPR rose like a phoenix. Yeah. Oh, did Valheim have an actually early access thing? Yeah, EA is kind of at the tail end of its good guy moment right now. EA had such bad press for so long about microtransactions in its games, and its whole FIFA sham that it's still running. But they were kind of forced to start taking on some more conventional gaming stuff with new IPs and things like that. And I don't know how well it did for them financially, but it definitely, won them back some favors. Star Wars Jedi, it was the one before Jedi Survivor, was really well, it was part of that, right? It's not Jedi Outcast, that was the old school PC game. And I think Valheim was probably part of that too. But for a while there, EA was adding loot box mechanics to like all of its games. And I can guarantee you the developers don't want to add loot boxes to their games. That's 100% the publisher, the money makers. Because it's a boring mechanic. They don't want to work on something that's boring and stupid like a loot box. Slot machine mechanics, you know? Oh, yeah, EA really dropped the ball on Battlefield 2. Battlefield 4 had such a loyal following. All they had to do was not be terrible with Battlefield. Oh, what was that? Like 2044 or something like that. No, it was Battlefield 1. Which was it's like a World War I game, I think. And then there was like another Modern Warfare Battlefield game that they really dropped the ball on and overly monetized. Are we done now? Sorry, I keep getting very distracted by the conversation. Okay, now we report back to Rayloff, and then we're done. Rayloff, I did all your work for you.
Great work. Get back and report our success. I'll stay here and
These big developers should focus on
Glad you're here.
focus on the
Wouldn't have
wrong
done
thing
it
with
without.
games that us gamers don't care about. Yep, absolutely. But again, I don't think that's the developers, because a lot of developers are gamers. They have their fingers on the pulse of the gaming of gamers themselves. They know that their microtransaction laden loot box game isn't gonna go over well with gamers. But the suits don't want to hear it. Oh, DICE owns Battlefield. EA just publishes it. Usually it's the publisher and they have the umbrella of studios underneath them. Oh, EA, you're talking about early access, not EA, the game studio. Gotcha. Okay. Pretty much what they're doing is releasing early access games to the point that, and then patch their ass off. Yep, absolutely. That is what they do. Takes another 2 and 3 years until the game is good enough. Yep. The only difference with Baldur's Gate 3 is that they called it early access. They were upfront about it, and I think gamers rewarded them with that. The gaming industry rewarded them with that for being upfront about their early access instead of saying, "Okay, here's the game, you can play it. Make sure to buy the expansions later on with Act 2 and 3 and these other classes." EA Sports, it's in the game, yeah. The good old days of EA, right? Anyone remember the first SOCOM game on PS2 or Dark Cloud? I do. I never got into SOCOM. I almost got into Dark Cloud, but that was another golden age of gaming when Dark Cloud came off. The PS2 was such a good console. So many awesome releases. I never got to finish Dark Cloud, but it was a really good game. Back in the 90s, Dell was an incredible company with great customer service. Now look at what it... Yes, absolutely. Dell was the place to go, man. You could build a computer. They would use quality parts, even if some of them, like a lot of the case pieces and stuff were proprietary, so it would be a pain in the ass if you had to replace a bracket or something like that. But it was all super high quality. It was very easy to work on. They made it very easy to just call them up or go on their website and get components and... totally trick out your machine the way you wanted to. Dell was the shiznit back in the day. And I just used the word shiznit. We were talking about the 90s, so I had to throw that out there. Or was that an early 2000s thing? Work laptop in 2003, then no PC until 2018. Yeah. Favorite engine is the Frostbite engine, owned by DICE but adopted by AE or EA. The versions, yeah. So like Anthem and stuff was developed in Frostbite, but that was again the publisher forcing BioWare to use the Frostbite engine and to make a live service game, and of course it was a shitty game. There's no way it wasn't going to be, but the suits don't want to hear that. They just see, okay, we're gonna put everybody under the same engine so that we have expertise for all these games and we can share resources between these different studios and teams. And also we're gonna put microtransactions and live service subscriptions in it because that's what makes the most money for other games. It's just trying to fit square pegs in round holes all day, and it just doesn't work at some point. So many acronyms. Yeah, too many acronyms. You made the EA mistake too? Yeah, I did too. I think we all did. PS2 is the GOAT. I don't completely disagree. PS4 was also amazing, and PS5 is shaping up to be another classic for sure. But PS2, I mean, just the the games that they released on that console. I think the PS2 is still the most sold console in history. Or did the Switch take that over? Wow, I'm just assisting people with the reach without even trying. Look at that. Back to Ulfric. Shiznit is a thing. 1993 origin, there we go. And I wasn't even trying to be like that period PC about it, you know? I wasn't trying to invoke the early 90s with my Shiznit. I just threw it out there because the early 90s are part of me. It's in my blood.
I'm proud we liberated Falkreath from the Empire.
Alien, yeah, Dell still does make some really good monitors for what it's worth. Their PCs, their gaming PCs are overpriced, overstylized, and kind of underperform because they're kind of style over substance in terms of their airflow and things like that. But they do go on good sales. You could do worse than a Dell. You could do worse than an Alienware overall, but their monitors are still pretty top notch.
I've kept a little something to offer you in appreciation. Please take this on behalf of all the brothers and sisters.
They don't manufacture the monitors. They're all Samsung or LG screens, but the way they piece them together, it's kind of like an add-in partner for
We'll make the arrangements.
For GPUs. It's like you have like the lower end like palette and things like that, and then you have the higher end, which would have been Gigabyte back in the day.
You're needed in Yarmarch. There's much to be done.
You were born in 1990? Well, I got 10 years on you. I was born in 1980.
Carlos guide you.
And I think Magus 80 was also. In fact, I know he was, because we're the same age for most of the year. He's a few months older than me. Old man. Old geezer. Go shave your balls. The best year ever because it was the year we came out. Not like came out of the closet, just came out of our mother's vagina. Let's see. For Project Orion, the new CP77 game, they are bringing on a writer from KOTOR. Oh, sweet. That should be good. I kind of worry about future CDPR though. Unreal Engine, they're switching their talking about like making your developers do something that they're not skilled in. They've been working on that Red engine for forever, right? And it's one of the better looking engines, maybe the best one looking ever. But now they're switching everybody over to Unreal Engine. Wait, that sounds yep. You were picking up what I was putting down there. Parents fucked in 79 and Awesome was born. Indeed. Yeah, so I'm kind of worried about the shift to Unreal for CDPR. I'm interested to see what happens, but I'm kind of biting down on my teeth and hoping for the best here. They also vastly expanded their development teams to tackle these side projects, and I kind of have worries about the product, like the quality of those side projects. They're not using their main team. I fear that's another bubble that is about to pop, is the CDPR bubble. Not looking forward to that. I'm interested in to see what they put out, but I'm not overly optimistic about it. Alienware has only ever been a mediocre company. They had an innovative case design that attracted customers Dell wanted. Alienware was already going downhill when Dell bought them out. I see. Okay. The new Witcher, yes, everything from CDPR after Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be Unreal Engine. They have unified their development team on Unreal Engine. Maybe for better, maybe for worse, we'll see. Unreal Engine is really nice. It's very flexible, but it also has its issues, namely compilation stutter. There are so many Unreal Engine games that come out that suffer from compilation stutter on PC that it makes it unplayable. There's so many unplayable PC ports out there. Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the big one. They just can't figure it out for whatever reason. Respawn cannot figure out the compilation stutter on Unreal Engine for that game. Other studios are doing it, but it's a very major pain point for pretty much every studio who uses Unreal Engine. It works great for consoles because you only have one hardware platform to have these shaders compiled for. But when you have a PC platform that has a ton of different ones, that different GPUs, CPU, profile, memory, all that you have to recompile a shader for on the fly, it becomes exceedingly difficult. And it's a problem that the Red engine never had. It's a problem that the Creation engine never had. But it's a problem that very, very many Unreal Engine games have. So the switch to everybody moving to Unreal Engine is probably not a good one for gamers. It might mean that we get some more bad PC ports of major releases. I hope not. I hope they figure that out, but compilation stutter is a thing on PC. So shader compilation, it's like these shader effects, these fancy effects that you have on new GPU hardware. Consoles have them too, but things like particle effects, explosion, fire, lighting effects, things like that. The very first time that they show up in a gaming session, it takes some time to draw it because they don't have it cached and ready to go. So a shader compiler will sort of pre-cook all these effects so that they don't take longer to show the first time that they're shown in a game. So something like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, when you're walking through Coruscant in the opening scene, every time like a new lighting effect is shown or a new reflection is shown off of a new piece of armor, a new explosion with new lighting effects shows up, you get stutter because the game is halting to go find those assets and put them into the GPU and throw them up on the screen. If they compiled their shaders correctly, you would have no halt there, no pause. And that's usually fine on a console release, which is why console gamers don't know what compilation stutter is, but yeah, PC gamers know it way too well. I'm getting sidetracked again. I am sorry. Today's my rant day, I guess. Yep. Yeah, it's no problem. These are good conversations to have. I like this. Oh, let's see. That was an itch on my neck, by the way, and then an itch on my mustache. I wasn't scratching behind my ear and then sniffing my finger, just so you know. Just clearing up the record on that one. Yeah, and it's a problem that Unreal games have much more so than games from other engines, for whatever reason. It might be it might be an Unreal Engine thing. It might just be the developers not knowing how to use shader compilation in the correct way. But the hashtag stutter struggle is real for PC gamers, and it's why I still play some ports on my PS5. I had to play Star Wars Jedi Survivor on my PS5. Dead Space I had to play on my PS5. There are tons of others too that just... Hogwarts Legacy was another one that had a ton of shader compilation stutter. That I saw personally. That it was one of the main things that drove me to stop playing that game after a little while. It was rough. Nice thing about gaming, we all have ages. So many young ones, yeah. No, that's good. Let's get these generations together. We all realize that we have more in common than we have to contend with. The Grandpa Sniper, have you seen him? The Grandpa Sniper. Oh, you call him Magus the Grandpa Sniper? Absolutely, gaming is for all ages. I agree. It's something we can all come together on. We need more of that in this world. BGS using Unreal for Oblivion Remastered. That is still rumored. That rumor has been getting a lot of heat. I'll believe it when I see it. There are people, insiders, quote unquote, and some people with more experience in gaming tech than I am, saying that it seems that it actually more possible to have a Unreal Engine graphics layer over the top of a Creation Engine
No sign of
back-end game code than it seems like it would be. It seems a lot more difficult than it would be, apparently, from what people have said. In my experience, that sounds like an absolute nightmare, trying to use a completely new graphics engine over the top of Creation Engine. And in my opinion, why would you even want to do that? That's going to kill the modding scene. Creation Engine games are some of the most easily moddable games ever, because their folder structure and everything, you just drop the textures in, just drop the meshes in, you're good to go. That's all you need to do for these replacements. I tried to monkey around in Unreal Engine for a while, but from my experience, you need some pretty serious development chops in order to do anything in Unreal Engine. Creation Kit's super easy to use. The barrier to entry is super low compared to something like Unreal Engine. It is very flexible. There's more you can do with the Unreal Engine in its current state, anyway, than you can do in the Creation Engine. But BGS, as owners of that Creation Engine, as proprietary owners of the Creation Engine, they can make changes to that engine. They can expand on it. They can add things that Unreal Engine has to their own engine without having to just completely scrap it and move to Unreal. That would make modders happy. It would make players happy. And that's what they've been doing with their mainline releases, like Starfield, and that's what they'll be doing with Elder Scrolls 6. They'll keep expanding that game to have more contemporary gaming technology added to their engine. It's not like we're just still running the Gamebryo engine in Starfield. They all have their own improvements and stuff, and they can do that as long as they want, as long as it's worth it to them. Chat is full of interesting convos today. Yeah, I love it. Keeps everybody engaged. Nobody's yelling at each other yet, so that's good. Oh, there's an old guy that plays FPS as a sniper that pops up occasionally on YouTube Shorts. Okay, he's the grandpa sniper. I love that. He's kind of like Shirley Curry, Skyrim grandma. Oh, we got an assassin. You do not know what tree you're barking up here, buddy. Ooh, a black sting dagger. This thing looks cool. I mean, it's not anywhere close to what I'm running with some of my other daggers, but I might be able to upgrade that. That would fit the theme pretty well. Love that dagger. Do I have any more bones I can drop off? A bunch of dragon scales. I don't want to... Can use those, though. How are we doing? Pretty good. I would say it's a little bit overly hyped. It's a great engine. There's usually... Unreal is usually on the bleeding edge, right? Because Epic has all the resources in the world to put into it. It's the biggest gaming engine. They put more resources, like money and people and engineering wise, into the Unreal Engine. Whenever there's a new Unreal Engine that comes out, like Unreal Engine 5 is the new hotness right now with its Lumen lighting system and everything, it's a pretty big deal because they're the first ones to do stuff. And in that regard, I would say it is the premier game development engine. But I really worry that if everybody just cuts bait on their home-baked engines, and everybody goes to Unreal, that we're going to see a lot of homogenous-looking games and homogenous feeling games and games that have the same problems and the same strengths amongst the entire industry. And we're kind of already seeing that a little bit, but then there are beacons of hope like, CDPR, which now is the last big one to fall to the Unreal Engine juggernaut. But you still got Frostbite, right? You have the Creation Engine. Unity's still kicking around, even though that's kind of a poor man's gaming engine to comparative to other stuff. There are a few more kicking around here too. Let's see, I said Frostbite. I think there's a Forge engine that Guerrilla Games is using for Spider-Man and what was that other one? Horizon. Where the hell is my horse? I hear her. Oh, there she is. She's blending in with the rock face there. id Tech has its own Doom engine, which is still just completely bonkers. Really good one. So there still are a few saving us from a completely homogenous gaming industry. And also there's something to be said for the competition of everything, right? That's one of my main concerns about, the rumors that Microsoft might be getting out of the hardware industry here. I don't think that that's completely the case, by the way. I think they'd be happy to put some of their, and they have been happy for a while, to put some of their major exclusives on PlayStation. And it sounds like that's what they're going to do. If you haven't heard, that's kind of the big news from this last week, is that Microsoft is at least considering putting their exclusives on PlayStation 5, such as Starfield. I think Indiana Jones has been tossed around, and even Halo. And that's kind of low-hanging fruit for them. That's something that they can make their shareholders happy with. Minimal development time to port over to PlayStation 5, because they're running on what's fundamentally the same architectures with the same capabilities between Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 consoles. And it's a huge wide base of users that they haven't had access to for a very long time. It makes a lot of sense to me. But if now there's no competition in the console space, then now Sony gets to kind of rest on its laurels a little bit and not move the industry forward in the console space like it had to, because Microsoft was nipping at its heels with the Xbox for so long, right? Same thing might happen with Unreal Engine. Using the Sithis armor? Yeah, it's the Dark Brotherhood replacement armor. Geez, I'm really bad at remembering mod author names, but yeah, it's the slate variant. I like the red one the best, but I think like the purple one is the default one. It has more cloth and leather than it does like studs and shiny red on it. Big fan of that armor replacer. Yeah, puppy. Oh, a bunch of ice wolves. Okay, this is gonna be kind of tough. Oh yeah, Gears of War was another one. I see that GOW, and it's and I know you're talking about God of War, but Gears of War is another one that's reportedly coming to PlayStation. Those were good games too. I enjoyed Gears of War. So yeah, no, I don't think Unreal is overhyped, but I think it's a lot of times seen as the end-all be-all of game engines when it isn't. There are other engines that have things to offer, and in terms of the competition and in things of innovation and just seeing something different from time to time. I would like to not see Unreal Engine just completely take over everything. Where the hell did my horse go again? There she is. Yeah, I don't like console exclusives either. But they are an unfortunate reality of the business sometimes on both sides. For manufacturers that are still in the console business, Sony and Nintendo specifically, they still do eventually make more money than they lose on consoles. Microsoft hasn't been there for a couple of generations now. Xbox One was not good for them. The Xbox Series has not been good for them either, at least comparatively. I don't know that they ever got to the point of profitability on their hardware sales alone, where Nintendo and Sony always sell enough to be able to get there. Except for maybe the PlayStation 3. I think eventually they did get there after they started cutting out some backwards compatibility hardware on their circuit, on their motherboards. Man, that was good for gamers though. That hardware backwards compatibility on that first generation PlayStation 3, that was good stuff. A first generation PlayStation 3, if you have access to drive replacements for it, is one of the best consoles you can have for retro gaming, because it has hardware emulation. It's not even emulation. It's just it has PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 hardware like directly soldered onto the motherboard. So you get to play all three generations on the hardware. So there's like no emulation lag or any kind of performance drop for having another emulation layer over between the game and the hardware itself. That was an excellent console. That got off to a rough start. It caught up a little bit at the end, but yeah, that first generation PlayStation 3 was a dream come true for PlayStation gamers. Oh, this is just a regular dragon, but we do have to be careful because there are bandits down there too, which there might be some high-level bandits. Not sure yet. Why don't you come back down to earth here, big guy? Yeah. Come to daddy. Not doing a lot of damage to a regular dragon here, am I? Where is he going down? Way over there, huh? Okay, we'll let the bandits play with him a little bit. PS5 outselling Xbox almost 3-1. Yeah, it's not even close. It is dire for Xbox. I'm wondering if they go the way of Sega, where they just become a software publisher. I mean, they still have tons of resources from Microsoft, but a big company like Microsoft is even more beholden to its shareholders than it is even a mid-range company.
Tell you what, you start running so I can stab you in the back.
Ooh, needed the blood for the Septimus Cygnus quest line. All right, you guys want to go? Let's go. Let's do this. I'm ready.
Never back down.
Can't buy a stagger on that guy. What do I have for shouts here? You know what? Haven't used the Undying Ghost in a while. Let's let him out. Oh god, this Marauder is killing me over here. Thank you, buddy. He still seems bothered by something. Yeah, we're still in combat mode here. Oh, yep, here we go. More bandits.
You are not welcome here.
God, shot right up my skirt there.
Such an abrupt end to our game.
Got flanked by my ghost. Okay, now we're way off track again. Oh, is that Jigalag up there? I think that's Jigalag. Want to play Breath of the Wild on... Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of those Switch games, especially the first party stuff, would make a great port for a more powerful platform. Could you imagine playing Breath of the Wild at 4K high resolution, or like high frame rates? That would be sick. It's a kilt. Blood for the Blood God. God of War is available on PC, same with Horizon. As for Ghost, you'll have to wait. Yeah, PlayStation has been much more amenable to putting its stuff on PC than it has putting its stuff on Xbox. I doubt they're going to put their stuff on Xbox anytime soon. Just because they've won the console war, right? They don't want to give they're putting the throat on the necks of Xbox right now. And the Microsoft putting their exclusives on PlayStation 5 is very indicative of that. Microsoft, or Xbox, anyway, I wouldn't say Microsoft, because Microsoft is way bigger than Sony is as a whole. But yeah, Xbox is definitely rolling over to PlayStation right now if they're putting their exclusives on their console, especially without Game Pass. Modded Breath of the Wild, yeah, that would be cool too. Yeah, Sony doesn't have any reason to do it. I mean, I don't think that Sony sees PC gaming as a direct competitor to console gaming, and honestly, that makes sense. PC gamers are different than console gamers. It's a different group, and there is some overlap to be sure, right? We're still all just gamers. We enjoy the same games, but somebody who is willing and able to shell out $2,000 on a gaming rig, it's worth it to them because they're going to be spending all that time on the rig. And they're also the type of person who wants to tinker, who wants to modify and customize things and see what improvements they can make here and there and here and there, you know? The average console gamer, they just want to plug it in their TV, sit back on the couch and play some games for a while, and then, you know, maybe they'll lose a day or a weekend to a game. But that's typically like not what they're going to be doing all the time. So for them, it's like economically spending a few $100s on a console. It's going to give them everything they want. And they're going to be very happy with their purchase. So yeah, I don't think console is competing directly with PC, and I don't think it's going to anytime soon. So Sony is much more apt to put their games on PC, not as like a simultaneous release, right? They're still going to hold their exclusives close to their chest for a year or 2 or 6 months or whatever. I think their first simultaneous release is actually Helldivers 2, which just came out yesterday, I think, and it looks really good. Not really my style of game, but yeah, it's good to see them throwing PC gamers a bone with that one for sure. And they're usually pretty high quality PC ports too. You know, The Last of Us Part 1 not included. That thing had a lot of trouble. It's getting better, I think, every month. And with every patch, it is improving, unlike the Jedi Survivor nonsense.
What will Skyrim have become if her children submitted to tyranny?
Reporting for duty, grumpy old man.
Some false orders to the Imperial
At least it wasn't an arrow to the knee, that's true.
But first, we need to get our hands on some Imperial orders to make the forgeries. The inns at Dragon Bridge and Rorikstead.
Yeah, technically there's no reason, Silent Echo, to not to... If it's just a pure technical reason, there's everything runs off of the same architecture now. Every console is basically just a PC with the same hardware, right? So technical limitations are not really a thing when it comes to porting exclusives over. It's all just a business thing. It's whether or not they can make more money bringing a potential gamer into their platform through an exclusive. Like if you're a Halo gamer, you really want to play Halo, the only place to play it is on Xbox. You're going to buy that Xbox, and now you're in the Xbox ecosystem, right? You're more likely to buy Xbox games. You're more likely to get your friends to buy an Xbox so you can play those games together.
Good. And remember,
More likely to buy Game Pass so you have access to all these games. And that's a big thing for Microsoft, and that's what exclusives do. On the other side, Microsoft pays big money to these studios for exclusive access to their games, so that funds these big AAA projects that wouldn't get funded otherwise, right? So that might go away a little bit for some studios, some developers, which is kind of scary for them. So that's why I think Sony probably isn't going to put their stuff on Xbox anytime soon, is because, you know, they hold all the cards as far as getting people in their ecosystem, buying PlayStation Plus, buying more PlayStation exclusive games, buying their cross-platform games on PlayStation because that's what they have and that's what they prefer, because that's what they played, because that's where their main exclusive that they wanted to play was always at. Longevity with PC, yep, absolutely. I mean, I spend more on my PC upgrades than I would be spending money on new consoles. Like the 4090 I'm running on this machine was, I got lucky enough. I got it for $1,600 list price on launch. But most people don't get that lucky. What the hell? Oh, ice wolves. Oh, you too, huh? Fought a lot of animals. Am I diseased at all? Yeah, I spent $1,600 on my last GPU upgrade, which is, you know, more than 3 times the cost of a PlayStation 5. So as a PC gamer, I do end up spending more money on upgrades for my one PC than I would on buying a new generation of console hardware. So the longevity is there, but if you regularly upgrade your gaming rig, you're not really saving money because of that longevity, right? Not necessarily, anyway. There are a lot of PC gamers who stick with their hardware for a really long time. They really get the most money out of it. They just, you know, have to play newer games on very low settings, or have to stick to older games. And, you know, for a lot of those people, that's just fine. They don't need the latest, greatest stuff all the time, which is good. I spend a lot of time watching Digital Foundry and things like that, so I am fascinated by new graphics and stuff. And I just, when there's new ray tracing technology or some kind of new like shadows or, you know, lighting or reflections or something, I want to be able to see that at playable frame rates. So I end up shelling out for it. It's all right. My wife and I are dinks. We got dual income, no kids. So if I'm spending my money or spending my time on this game, I don't really mind spending the money on it. Where is my horse? I need a horse whistle here. PC parts is like buying drugs, but more expensive. Yeah, kinda. It's like, why fly a kite when you can pop a pill? Well, that pill is a PC gaming experience, and a lot more expensive than a kite, that's for sure. Take all my heavy shit, oh ye beast of burden. Okay, that's good enough for now. Horses all day long. Do you know how dull horses are? I do, Eravanya, I do. Okay, what am I supposed to be doing here? False front. Find the Imperial Courier. I can do that. Between Dragon Bridge and Rorikstead. Okay, well, we're pretty close to Dragon Bridge as it is. Let's make a beeline over there. Yeah, I think for lack of exclusivity on these big Xbox exclusives, it's definitely a good thing for gamers, right? But yeah, the competition thing, I worry about a little bit. If Sony has just won the console space, then it might be a while before we find a huge generational leap past the PlayStation 5. They might just be doing incremental PlayStation 5 Pros and things like that for a while if they don't have Xbox nipping at their heels to really do generational jumps in their hardware. And there is a lot of meat on the bone. There is a lot of upgrades that can be made to a PlayStation 5 system and still remain backwards compatible. So you have years of incremental upgrades on there, and you know what? They're getting console gamers for their hard-earned money on that. If you're replacing your refreshing your console every 2 years or whatever instead of every 5 or 10 years. More trolls. Don't need the skull. If there's any more big bones, yeah, large animal bone I don't need. Everything else I can use. Dinks is like the third time you've heard that term? Yeah. Well, I mean, this is like one of the first generations where it's like been okay not to have kids, like societally, right? Kind of started with late Gen X, which is what I am. Right on the borderline between Gen X and Millennial, and then from Millennial down, it like became more and more socially acceptably not to have like kids. Well, it just means more money for us. Weird thing when they say exclusivity, it's not really when you're still allowed to pick it up on PC. Yeah, I mean, it's selective exclusivity, right? It's like you're exclusively deciding not to put your things on certain consoles instead of exclusively choosing one console to put it on. Not like the old days where Sega had its own exclusives and Nintendo had the same. Yeah, I mean, it's still a little bit of that, but it really, yeah. Not really, because Microsoft owns both. Oh, yeah, I mean, PC is kind of ubiquitous with Windows at this point, and you're really... Steam is in there too, so it becomes kind of like foggy where... what platform you're playing on, right? Epic would like you to believe that the storefront that you buy your games from is the platform that you're playing on, but it's not. It's not. It's just a storefront. That's why the Epic PC exclusives are the worst, because they say, "Oh, we've had platform exclusives for a while and nobody complained about them until we started doing it." Well, it's because you're not your own platform. It's a store. If everybody had to go to Best Buy to buy every single video game, then yeah, we would be pissed off about it. We'd be pissed off at Best Buy, right? Get the hell out of here. You're not a platform. You're a freaking storefront. Steam is more of a platform than Epic is, but it's still more of a storefront than it is a platform. overall. Okay. Can I get a damn strange cat claw here? Please. Sabercat tooth, eye of sabercat, sabercat heart, sabercat claws, not a strange cat claw. Large animal bone. Large sabercat claws. Come on. No. I need to make one of those amulets that gives me more ingredients. I'm really gonna do this strange cat claw thing in earnest. Dreamcast is the GOAT. Oh man, I'm stumbling over my words now. Yeah, I actually really love Dreamcast. If you liked arcade games, Dreamcast was the platform to have. It was the console to have. Still, some of the best arcade ports ever made were on the Dreamcast. Especially in terms of like fighting games, man. Street Fighter 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Dreamcast was the place to be for those, and like arcade racing games, not just the Sega stuff, Capcom stuff as well.
All right, hand over your valuables.
Oh, really?
Got you like a fish.
We'll see about that. I don't have time for this.
Walk away from me.
He's like, well, now that I got time for. Ooh, she's tough though. Hard to find a stagger against her there. Ooh, vagabond helmet. Something I need. Smith that up and maybe we'll go with that over the circlet. Don't mind the circlet, but this guy I think is more of either a hood or a bear helm type guy, huh? But yeah, no, that goes back to like which platform are you actually playing on PC? Is it Windows? Because you can do gaming on Linux, right? It's not as good. For some games it is. For some games it's fine, but most games just don't give a crap about their stuff running well on Linux, so they don't worry about it. So I feel like, yeah, PC gaming probably is a Microsoft platform. And Steam has just as much, well, no, not just as much. It has plenty to do with PC gaming platforming as well, but mostly that's just where people buy their games. It's not like how they run it. Steam did have like they have the Steam Deck, which has a custom Linux OS that runs a ton of games. So yeah, Steam is definitely more of a platform than Epic is for sure. You got Steam Deck, and you have the old Steam boxes too that would run a Steam OS. And that definitely was a platform. So Steam, yeah, is a platform holder. But mostly people just use them as a storefront, I would say, if you're a PC gamer. Where you buy your games, not where you run them. Dreamcast has one of the nicest sounding intros, yeah. Booting up a console used to be like an event all its own, like those old school PlayStation intros, the Dreamcast. Even the Saturn was cool as hell. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I don't remember PlayStation 4. I think PlayStation 4 and 5, it kind of lost that cool intro because most people just keep their machines in sleep mode, so you don't get that cool boot up every time. But now I'm trying to think of the PlayStation 5 boot up intro, and I can't even remember it, so it's not something it's not something memorable at least.
They say Helgen got hit by a dragon. One of those horrors come. Is it true what they say? There was a dragon held captive in Whiterun, and you released it? By the gods, man.
Oh, there is a guard over here that will tell you about the courier, I think, but I might have to go into the inn. None of these guys are being forthcoming about it. Did I already ask you? Are you the same guy?
Word is spreading like
Yeah.
mage fire. The great evil has been vanquished. You are true.
Yeah, I can still hear it in my head like a THX movie intro. Yeah, same here. You remember the TurboGrafx 16? I do remember that. I never had one,
Take a seat.
but
Get the
that had
phone
some
down.
great exclusive home releases for like arcade shoot 'em up games
Fate is the name. I keep the
that
in.
no other console ever got. It was a great console that never really hit mainstream. But TurboGrafx 16 was awesome.
Something different about you. I can tell. Hope you ain't here to cause trouble. I tend to keep my patrons' privacy.
You still have yours? Only like 18. Yeah, there weren't a ton of games for it, but the ones that they had were pretty good. Some great arcade ports. Linux Red Hat. Who remembers EA Games had their own online shop? Oh yeah, a lot of publishers do that. EA does it. Ubisoft does it. It's a pain. Bethesda was doing it for a while, but they're not anymore, thank God.
Well, if you insist. He was here, but he left. If you leave now, you can probably catch him. Or you can just wait.
Yeah, those
here.
launchers
He'll
are
be
a
back
pain in the
soon
ass.
enough.
Like, nobody needs them. What are you even doing? It's
Until
just
next time.
They're trying to build in another opportunity to sell you shit that you don't want. I already did clap Alduin's cheeks. Yes, I did. I did that off camera, actually. Trying to get this guy ready for action as far as being able to write up the build guide on him, and I'm still missing some pieces, which is why I'm still streaming him. And not doing Starfield or Cyberpunk right now, because those... well, Starfield is ready to go. That's in full production. I don't need to play him anymore. Just need to capture footage that I'm using for the build guide. A couple more videos on Starfield, and then I'm going to be focused completely on the Steger build guide for the channel. The hell is going on here? Is this just a random ass head? Is that a Mirak cultist? It is. What the hell is going on there? Ah, okay. Oh, there's the courier.
Can't stop to chat, citizen.
All right, never mind. Let's tail him for a little bit. All right, once we kill this courier, I'm gonna call it a stream. Got some more things to do this weekend. Oh, there was some Super Bowl talk earlier that I missed because I was doing too much cooking in the game. Anybody got any plans for the Super Bowl tomorrow? I think my wife and I are just gonna stay in and watch it. I'm actually not excited about this one at all. It's like the Chiefs and the 49ers just played 5 years ago. We saw, and of course there's different things about the teams now, but it's still the same teams, right? I hate seeing the same teams in the Super Bowl all the time. But I'm still gonna relax and watch the commercials and stuff, you know.
Come on in.
Part of American
Food,
culture,
drinks, and
watching the
beds.
Super Bowl commercials. Let's see, I might be able to just goad him into a fight here.
Can't stop to chat, citizen.
Not here to talk, I'm here for those documents.
Is that so?
Yeah. Come at me, bro. Why are you fighting me? I was just thanking you for your service. Wow, did you see that guy just came at me? I am Team Imperial. What are you guys even doing? I'm just checking his pulse right now.
I'm getting
Okay.
out of here.
That was weird. That guy just attacked me out of nowhere. Why would he do that? Strange goings on here in Dragon Bridge, huh? Oh,
By order of the Ark, stop right there.
you'll never catch me,
Can
coppers.
be arranged. Fight! Please, someone do something.
All right, now we can't go back to Solitude for a while. Not even sure I have 1,000 septums to spend. Oh yeah, but I need that for training. You got another mod for me to look at, James? Yeah, okay, I'll take a look at it here in a minute Let me just get to safety here. Okay, let's see. Did I leave everybody behind? Am I good? Okay, I think I'm good now. Oh, I hear another dragon. Damn it. We'll do a hard save now. Just take care of him later. Okay. Let me get out of the game. I'm going to check out your mod here real quick here, James. See how that goes. Whew, the heater's on and it is toasty. It is only 53 degrees here in sunny Scottsdale, Arizona at the moment. Let's see. Another email and password set up for those launchers. So many accounts as a gamer. Yeah, it's so annoying. And then they just get hacked all the time. You need the two-factor authentication, so it becomes even more of a pain in the ass to sign in. Came across a dead dragon in the water. Oh, all right. That's kind of cool. Also seen a giant riding a dragon. That was what, yeah, that does happen sometimes. So it's just the way that the objects collide with each other. It's HET. Okay. Eclipse Mage. I don't see it on the hot mods. Eclipse Mage outfit, HTT SMTP. I just had to make sure there were no nipples or anything before I moved it over to the screen I was sharing. Yeah, we're the same. It's been cold. It's all the rain coming from California right now. California just got completely dumped on. We're getting the residuals of that now, which is great for our water levels. We really needed it. And it is lowering the temperature here too. It was in the low 40s when I woke up today and got up. And actually when I got up yesterday it was 36 degrees. That was crazy. But yeah, I should start warming up a little bit, but I want to take as much advantage of the cold weather as I can here before it starts getting warmed up again. I want to be sick of the cold, sick of the cool weather when it's time to heat up, because these summers here are just deadly, like literally deadly. Cool. All right, let's take a look at this guy, huh? That's actually pretty good. I like it. Very high quality. A little more grounded in reality. I like the cloth materials on there, look good. See if we can get better lighting. Yeah, I actually really like the cloth. It's not as LARPy, right? It's like something that a mage would wear for both practicality and trying to look cool as hell. Kind of looks like he's got a bright blue tail coming out here, but I think that's just a side effect of how the mesh is holding in on itself there. This would probably look... Oh, and it's got optional armor pieces. I love a modular set where you can kind of add and remove pieces as you want. And like armor, a little buckler, little armor pieces for the shins. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. Is this part of the set too? The mace? Does look pretty dope, huh? Oh yeah, this is just one he found. It looks cool as hell though. I'm a fan. It does look like the shield and the weapons come with it. Yeah. Yeah, cool shit. I like the book here too. Very high quality. And with all of like the flowing cloth pieces on it, I bet it looks really good in HDT. Very cool. Who did this? Is this somebody I know? Nuka Necom? Never heard of him. Probably has some other stuff out there, but yeah, cool stuff. And some staffs here too. There's the mace, and then the longer ones were the staves. Craft it in the forge. It doesn't look like you find it out in the world, so you have to craft it, which is not a big deal. You'll only need steel blacksmithing perk. It's probably overpowered for how soon you can get it, but that's kind of the way it goes for these kind of mods, I guess. You get enchanted and unenchanted. That's cool. Yeah, awesome. I can go ahead and link this in the chat here in case anybody wants to check it out. Yeah, and I think that's it for me, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I had a ton of fun playing some Skyrim, getting through that Civil War quest line. I've still got a long ways to go through it. I'll probably get that done this week. Not sure what I'll do next week, but probably back to the Steger. If I finish everything up on this playthrough, as far as the build guide, things I need for the build guide, I might switch next weekend either to Diablo 4 or Cyberpunk 2077. Those are kind of like the next in line things. As far as Skyrim, before I start the next Skyrim playthrough, there's some mods that I want to add to my mod list, so it's gonna take a week or two once I'm done with the Steger playthrough to get back up and running with a new character. And in the meantime, I'll be playing some other games, either Starfield, Cyberpunk, or Diablo 4 for now. So that's it for me as far as the updates go. Look for that Cyberneticist build guide. Probably in the next 2 weeks if things go well. If not, then maybe 3 or 4 weeks. But I'm plugging away at that for sure. Until then, if you like this and you wanna catch me around the webs a little bit, do check out Magus's Twitch channel. It's in the link in the description below. So click on that, leave him a follow. He's about ready to start a new Skyrim Let's Play here very soon as well. The Panicked Monk has a YouTube channel he's been posting pretty regularly on. It's been a while, Joe, since you've had such a regular uploads as you've had with Einarath here, and I'm loving it. Joe is great at storytelling and roleplay. So I've been enjoying that playthrough that he's been doing. Caladran was here earlier. She posts some Let's Play type stuff on her channel for Skyrim. I think she posted some Enshrouded stuff the other day. I feel like you've done some Hogwarts stuff, a little bit of Starfield stuff. Yeah, a lot of good stuff out there. So click around in the channels below. Oh, and Macadamia, can't forget about the academic Macadamic in the chat. Malderoth has a Twitch channel as well that he's always a cool guy, a lot of fun to hang out with, really chill streams, some sort of unique ways of attacking Skyrim that I'm always interested in catching and learning about. I think that's everybody in the chat. Sorry if I'm Strudel also has a long-running fanfic story that she's been doing. She posts some really good writing. If you're a fan of fantasy writing, not going to do much better than that. So check that out as well. All right, done shilling from my friends here. All right, take it easy, everybody. I'll see you around, okay?